live on $1,500 in the States. Even with higher transportation costs there, with gas at $3, even with higher utility costs, we were real smart at bargain hunting. All of our food, clothing, and any variable expenses were extremely low. Here's what I want to say to you guys. This was for a family of 5. I have to tell you, in North America on $1,500 or less. I just want you to know that I was on 3 acres and I had a house with a pool for that price. Now you might say, wow, that sounds really low for North America. And you'd be right. Another consideration would be to revert back to a one-income household. You know, this would give one spouse the time and ability to learn how to work more effectively for your own household. We were living in the States on, our expenses were about $1,500 a month for 5 adults in the States. We did have plenty of land around us for growing and for privacy and for space and enjoyment. We were able to be very effective in the States. We were very effective at being self-sufficient in the States. I mean, I used to grow the majority of vegetables that we ate. In the off-season, we got pretty good at getting discounted produce and such. Another thing you would learn is the coping skills. You know, if you're both working and one of you unexpectedly gets laid off, now it's more of a emergency, it's a tragedy. You weren't able to spend any time learning the skills that you needed to be able to cope with such a thing. But if you do it on your own terms and you do it on your own timeline and you plan for it, meaning right now, doing it right now, not in 8 years or 10 years or whatever. In that way, you would actually be making your household stronger because you would actually have the skills and you would be able to cope better with some kind of a calamity, plus all the benefits that come from having less stress of having 2 working spouses out of the home.
You know, I've had the blessing of being able to stay home, and I've really enjoyed being with my children, my sons, while they grew up and everything. It's just the neatest thing to be able to see every single moment of the stages of their growth.
It's something that stays with you even afterwards. It's something that you experienced and you know, it might even build a kind of a more of a bond, do you think?
Mm-hmm, it sure does. And the other blessing is I don't live a very stressful life. I don't have to get up and deal with other people. Except for my family.
You don't have a boss breathing down your neck or
like that.
deadlines to meet other than
I think that's a
self-imposed.
really big blessing. And I'm always telling people and how blessed I am not to have to go out and work.
Yeah.
I would never have it
at a
any
job
other way.
or whatever.
Yeah, I don't have to go out and work at a job. That's right.
Or you're surrounded by
It's not
people.
like I don't do anything in the home.
Surrounded
believe
by
me.
people you normally wouldn't associate with, perhaps. Just the idea of having a boss is
I think
another subject.
it's very important if husbands and wives can work together and figure out a way, especially if you have small children that are still at home and everything, to find and figure out a way for her to stay home and find ways that she can be industrious at home.
We're not talking about not working. We're talking about instead of putting your complete day, your whole day, all those hours into building someone else's business, you can spend that time building the business of your household.
I would say one of the biggest things that you have going for you there is the ability to shop better. I mean, just on things like staples here in Ecuador, we pay more for things, simple things like rice, I mean brown rice and beans. We pay more for those here than we did in the States, just for staples.
So I'm making some French fries baked in the oven with the Japanese purple potato. So this one right here. They're really good. I've never made them into French fries though, so we'll see how they turn out. We'll let you know. So I told you I would let you know how the potatoes turned out, and well, I think I left them in the oven a little bit too long. They're kind of hard and crunchy. So we'll try it again next time and not leave them in the oven so long.
This is minimalism, this is frugalism, and this should be touching a little bit there. And this is Piffy. You can see that Piffy can incorporate some of minimalism and some of frugalism, but the majority of it does not. Just as some frugalism touches on Piffy and some minimalism, and they can also here, these could also touch each other. Piffy stems from the acronym for FIRE, which is Financially Independent, Retire Early. Piffy is Professional Industrious Frugalist, Financially Independent, and Professional Industrious Frugalist, Financially Independent, Early Retired. The Piffy is like a professional chess player, and he's a strategist. And so if a Piffy wants to have, say, Piffy can have a house with a pool. A Piffy can have an old car, a Piffy can have several old cars. A Piffy has options and strategies and opportunities. I struggle with defining Piffy because he almost has no boundaries. I say almost because I'm not trying to make it sound like he's a Superman or woman, but the Piffy is about not having boundaries, whereas the frugal fire has all these boundaries and the minimalist has all these boundaries. The Piffy tends to not have those boundaries, and therefore he's more of a possibility thinker, strategist, enterprising type of person that is able to achieve material aspects of pleasing his family and himself, and yet at the same time be able to also achieve fulfillment in life, satisfaction in life. So this is not the lifestyle of the rich and famous in the sense that there's no regard with how much we spend. Instead of taking the subway, we just blow $30, $40 on taxis all day long, because that provides no fulfillment and satisfaction. So the Piffy achieves all the material things that he does of a person that has a higher status of wealth, but he can also be a multimillionaire and achieve satisfaction on a daily basis. He can have the challenges of somebody that plays professional chess, and therefore has a reason to get out of bed every morning if he's a multimillionaire and he's excited about life. If these three different people were playing sports, the minimalist would be playing badminton, the frugalist would be playing volleyball, and the Piffy or Piffier would be, as I said, a professional chess player or a professional football or baseball player. And that is my 2 cents on living the good life, because that's what I've been doing. Actually, I should tell you that I've been a Piffy for over 30 years. I started out as a frugalist in my 20s. I started out on a fire program in my early 20s, and I morphed into a Piffy and have been Piffy ever since my mid-20s. Remember what a Piffy is. It's a professional, industrious frugalist, financially independent, and also early retired. Piffy. So I've got this amazing, and of course this is an Italian kitchen, so it's always got something going on. And let's see, where's the ladle? The ladles are always busy in this kitchen, absolutely. And what we have here in the making is fermented cheese, and this stuff here is fermented milk whey, which is extremely anti-inflammatory and super good for the gut, which is an amazing thing to be doing anywhere in developing countries and even in non-developing countries, because it's just good for you. If you liked the video, you know what to do. Thank you for staying with me. Have a wonderful day.